Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Geo for Geography and myself Akshay Guru. So I am here today with one interesting explanation about the geopolitical theory. That is the rimland theory. See, the geopolitics, the term is very much rooted in the presence of the geography or space and geographical factors, that aspect of polity that is defined based on geographical causations simply is what geopolitics. So now in the domains of geopolitics you will find different theories जो दी है, जैसे अल्फ्रेड माहन की influence of sea power एक ये theory है. Another you will find heartland theory है, that is again given there. Again equally you will find the organic state theory that is given by Frederick Ratzel, and then over here rimland theory given by the Spikeman, Nicholas Spikeman. So I have prepared the videos. I'm going to prepare in fact say videos on all these geopolitical theories जो आपको इस channel पे available हो जाएगी, है ना. तो if you guys are looking for this geopolitical theories as in from the perspective of UPSC, your UGC NET examinations और बाकी examinations के लिए, तो you can absolutely follow this channel. So चलो अब without wasting further time of yours, now it's a case of rimland theory. See what this rimland theory is about. This rimland theory is simply a counter to the heartland theory. Heartland theory that is given by the Lord Halford Mackinder like way back in 1903, having successive updation in 1919 and 1943. Right? अगर आपको Mackinder की heartland theory और भी डिटेल में जाननी है, you can watch the video that I have already made on this heartland theory. Okay, so go through it, have better idea, तब आपको ये चीजें और भी better समझ आ जाएगी. So rimland theory, see what Mackinder did. He divided world into three different zones, है ना. He divided world into three different zones. एक था heartland region जिसको पहले उसने pivot area बोला, फिर heartland. Then the peripheral to this is what rimland region, and next to it is what the outer crescent or insular crescent. Outer crescent or insular crescent. So simply you will find these three are the different zones identified by the Mackinder, and these zones are then even further studied by the Spikeman as well. देखो ये theory जो propose की थी इसके background से कुछ पहले वो समझना होगा हमको. First Mackinder की heartland theory was already in the public domain, ठीक है, heartland theory. And Second World War was started because it was proposed in 1944 by Nicholas Spikeman. इसके पीछे दो context है, right? So the heartland theory and the Second World War. Now what? It just because heartland theory gives excessive emphasis on the Eastern European part, that is Siberia, and ultimately the one who controls East Europe controls the heartland. One who controls the heartland rules the world island. One who rules the world island commands the world. Right? That is what the dictum that given by the heartland theory. And the second is what? Second World War. Now in the case of Second World War you will find कि ये जो heartland का जो significance था ना इतना, वो अब कुछ balance जो था वो कुछ change हो रहा था, say towards the Europe and North American axis, and equally around the rimland region. Right? तो इस context को देखते हुए, right, what this Nicholas Spikeman, who was an American geographer, has proposed his model. This model it simply deals with, right, how first इसके कुछ three different themes है, and what we are going to study them as well. So in 1944 Spikeman has, right, the point or critic or antithetic to the heartland theory, क्योंकि इसका कोर तो ये था कि अपोज करना है heartland theory को equally, second world war conditions को validate भी करनी है और again you know the way forward for that particular case, तो future के prospects भी बताने, keeping that way, so he framed his model in his work, the title the Rimland theory, in his book the Geography of Peace, yeah, Geography of Peace, that is what the book written by the Nicholas Spikeman. Now, what he considered two basic postulates: geographical causation of history. It means simply how geographical factors are behind the development of history, yeah, evolution of history. Why? जैसे Mongols, Safavids, yeah, Han Empire, sorry, then Timuride, yeah, West Asia, yeah, कहीं पे भी और, you'll find how geography is the reason behind the evolution of history. That is what he strongly believes in. Geography lies at the very root of this. And second, the conflict between land power and sea power. See, that is what a very a dichotomy I would say rather, कि कौन सी power ज़्यादा superior, whether it is land power, whether it is sea power. Land power is someone or that kind of power that derive majority of its resources and energy from the land. Yeah, it has mainly a land coastline, land region boundary, and sea power is simply that kind of power that derives its energy mainly from oceanic resources. Ocean region has a coastline and has a naval presence as well. So ये है sea power. So his theory revolves around these two aspects first. Okay, so I hope you guys are pretty much clear with this two: geographical causation of history and equally the sea power and land power. See, what is the first theme of the Rimland theory? The sea power was supreme and land power, being inaccessible, is inferior. If you ask Alfred Mahan, right, जो जिसपे ये भी वीडियो मैंने बनाया, आप देख सकते हो उसको, इसी चैनल के लिस्ट में होगा. So there he explains about the influence of sea power upon history. Equally, he was in confirmation with that sea power or naval power is rather much more superior. Take for example UK, take for example ancient Chola Empire, take for example और भी कोई empire है, और nowadays US. You will find US more than a land power is a sea power. Right. So he considered this that sea power or naval power is rather more supreme, and why land power is inferior? The reason being land power has many limitations for accessibility, many limitations for communication, many limitations for implementations of technology and the all other means. So the very first theme you need to remember. Now, why is it so? As already, see, sea power has a faster movement, quick accessibility and enough access to resources, क्योंकि sea, as you know, 80% land है, 80% area sea ने occupy किया है, and you can imagine the resource base that that lies with the ocean itself, sea itself. So it is very accessible and very critical on this count. Sea power has more than 2/3 of the population of the world. Sea power जो host कर रही है 2/3 of the population, and the human population is actually the strong reason to defend any power. Yeah, because Roman Empire अगर आप देखोगे तो इन्होंने population growth को promote किया था. The reason being they need a strong population base जो expand भी कर सकती है और defend भी कर सकती है. ठीक है, so population is equally a strong aspect on this. Then in medieval human history and the pre-modern era, naval power had supremacy over the land power, and it had proved on many instances. Chola Empire ले लो या UK ले लो, US ले लो, you will find there are many there were many instances कि जब naval power ही superior थी than the land power. Now second theme, then what the second crux of this theory, as I told you, क्योंकि इसको oppose करना था, या ये मतलब इसका root ही था critic of the heartland theory. So this theory, it reflects this fact that heartland is not the sole region that will drive the destiny of the world. It is rather rimland. So heartland appeared less important than the rimland. Heartland appeared less important than the rimland in that sense that heartland is that region you must be aware about, जो वैसे भी हमने देखा था, right? This one heartland, this is what a heartland region. इसको पहले मैकिंडर ने pivot area बोला था, right? And then named it as heartland. Now this heartland region is very inaccessible according to Spikeman. Heartland मैकिंडर के लिए तो ये बहुत rich area था. However, for Spikeman it is rather inaccessible. It does not have enough resources. ह्यूमन पॉपुलेशन यहां पे नहीं है, यहां पे क्लाइमेट इज नॉट फेवरेबल, क्लाइमेट इज इक्वली एडवर्स, यहां पर यू विल फाइंड communication and connectivity is equally very difficult. And how you can consider, it does not have ports, है ना, all weather ports नहीं है यहाँ पे, how you can consider this as then a region that will drive the world? No. According to Spikeman, heartland is less potential region, rather the real potential lies to its periphery. Periphery मतलब कौन सा वाला part? See this one, this region which includes or which is then rimland region that he called it as. इसको heartland theory ने मैकिंडर ने ये बताया था that this region is inner crescent, right? You can have that video guys, so आपको और भी clarity आएगी इस explanation के लिए. So rimland region और inner crescent which includes the western Europe, right? Eastern Europe तो पूरा नहीं है, West Asia, South Asia, China and this Korean Peninsula and islands, ये सारे regions है that forms the part of the rimland. So according to this Spikeman's theory that this region is rather more potential, the reason being population ज़्यादा है, resource base ज़्यादा है, diversity of landform है, equally it has well connectivity with the coastlines. ऑल वेदर पोर्ट्स है यहाँ पे, ट्रेडिंग कम्युनिकेशंस है, पेट्रोलियम के रिजर्व्स यहीं पे, एंड एवरीथिंग यू विल फाइंड दैट इज व्हाट रिक्वायर्ड फॉर एनी रीजन टू ड्राइव द वर्ल्ड. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम नॉट द हार्टलैंड, रादर रिमलैंड रीजन इज द पोटेंशियल व्हाट रीजन. सो थर्ड थीम देन क्या है? थर्ड थीम इट एक्सप्लेन्स अबाउट दैट सिंपली द वन हु कंट्रोल्स द रिमलैंड rules the Eurasia, Europe plus Asia, and one who rules Eurasia controls the destinies of the world. So according to Spikeman, simply to rule the world you need to rule Eurasia, to rule Eurasia you need to control Rimland. So his clear opinion about the Rimland is that Rimland is most potential region. Now then what advices, right, you will find what advice he had given to the countries then. अब दो कैटेगरी ऑफ कंट्रीज को उसने एडवाइस की थी. क्या? वन, दोज कंट्रीज लाइंग इन द रिमलैंड रीजन इटसेल्फ, रिमलैंड कंट्रीज, एंड non-rimland countries या other superpowers. See what? That the advice given by the Spikeman is simply that if you are rimland country like China, like India, like Saudi Arabia, like Western European countries, then you should look for a unity of the rimland. जितना ज़्यादा रिमलैंड कनेक्टेड होगा, जितना ज़्यादा रिमलैंड वेल एस्टैब्लिश्ड होगा, जितना ज़्यादा इनलैंड एक्सेसिबल होगा रिमलैंड रीजन, जितना ज़्यादा रिसोर्स शेयरिंग, आइडियाज एक्सचेंज एंड वेल कनेक्टिविटी होगी, रिमलैंड वुड बी ए सुपर पावर इन इटसेल्फ. No one would ever think of, right, just have a thought in mind that it can defeat the rimland region, right? So if you are rimland country you shall look for, but if you are non-rimland countries in that sense super power कोई और है, जैसे USSR, जैसे रशिया, जैसे ऑस्ट्रेलिया, like अगर उस केस में है, then what you should prevent the unity that is getting developed in the rimland. Yes, अगर rimland country हो तो unity बनाओ, अगर non rimland country हो तो unity को break करो. The reason being because if rimland region united, you will find that is the most potential danger for any existing superpower. So this theory of Spikeman equally guides the other superpowers how to remain a superpower. यस, जियोपॉलिटिक्स देखो कैसे वर्क करता है. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम, बिकॉज रिमलैंड ये ओवर रिसोर्स या ओवर पोटेंशियल रीजन है, इसको ग्रोथ करना अगर है, इसको कंट्रोल करना है, तो इसकी यूनिटी ब्रेक करनी है फॉर अदर सुपर पावर्स. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट द एडवाइस गिवन बाय द स्पाइकमैन. नाउ अब ये अगर केस है, वी हैव सीन फर्स्ट थीम, सेकेंड थीम, थर्ड थीम एंड एडवाइस दैट ही हैड गिवन टू द सुपर पावर रिमलैंड कंट्रीज. नाउ do you find any real, देखो आई एम टेलिंग यू अगेन, ज्योग्राफी वुड रिमेन मेयरली अ सब्जेक्ट ऑफ ज्योग्राफी अगर इसको सिर्फ बुकिश नॉलेज से कनेक्ट करोगे तो. बिलीव मी, ज्योग्राफी इज समथिंग दैट यू शैल फाइंड इन योर सराउंडिंग. Geography is something that you should look, in every geopolitical affairs in your surrounding. जब ये attitude या view आएगा आपके पास, believe me, कोई मॉडल थ्योरीज आपको याद नहीं रखनी पड़ेगी. That you need to ensure कि उस केस में you only have to find the basic concepts connected with the model or theories and then look for how you can connect it with the contemporary events there. राइट, तो ये है देखो इसका एप्लीकेशन. सो डू यू फाइंड एनी रियल टाइम एप्लीकेशन? आंसर इज यस. सी कैसे? पहले तो इसका थोड़ा सा कंटेम्परेरी टाइम से पहले या पोस्ट वर्ल्ड सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर देखते हैं कैसे कंटेक्स्ट बनता है. देखो, in the era of colonization, sea power like the British, French, Portugal, Spain, they were captured and demonstrated their superiority, right? तो land power से superior तो naval power हो गए थे. absolutely. Britishers, Portuguese were naval power. Portuguese ने इंडिया को 150 जो border थी कंट्रोल की थी. the reason because it was a super power. British ने भी कंट्रोल किया था सबसे पहले पोर्ट्स, कोलकाता, मुंबई, चेन्नई, यू विल फाइंड बाकी पोर्ट्स है. क्यों किया था? क्योंकि नेवल पावर इज सुपेरियर अकॉर्डिंग टू देम एज वेल. देन फॉर्मेशन, लाइक यू विल फाइंड, सी, then later formation of the Indian Ocean Rim Association. There you will find equally during the Cold War era equally the डेवलपमेंट ऑफ नेवल बेसिस बाय यूएसएसआर इन डिफरेंट कंट्रीज है. राइट, ये भी इसी से कनेक्टेड है कहीं ना कहीं, दैट दे शुड हैव ए सम सी एक्सेसिबिलिटी. तो यूएस हैज टू काइंड ऑफ मैप्स. वन मैप जो उसका फिजिकल मैप है, जो कंट्री का है, जो यूएस के नॉर्थ अमेरिकन रीजन का है. बट वन मैप इज अनदर देयर दैट इज रिफ्लेक्टिंग इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ यूएस इन द ग्लोबल अफेयर्स, एंड दैट इज बाय मींस ऑफ नेवल पोर्ट्स एंड सी कनेक्टिविटी. तो नेवल पावर इज रादर सीम सुपेरियर. सो आफ्टर 1950 all major wars were fought in rimland, and that simply reflect, जैसे ईरान वॉर, इराक वॉर, पैलेस्टीन, इजराइल पैलेस्टीन, सारा अगर देखोगे ये सारा रिमलैंड में हुआ है. यूएसएसआर में कोई वॉर नहीं हुआ है उसके बाद, ना ही वेस्टर्न यूरोप में हुआ है, बट नॉट डायरेक्टली इन एनी अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. मेजॉरिटी ओवर इन द रिमलैंड इटसेल्फ. राइट, सो अब देखो तीन मेजर पावर्स और उनके रिमलैंड कनेक्टिविटी हम देखेंगे, दैट यू विल फाइंड रिलेवेंस, कंटेम्परेरी रिलेवेंस. चाइना इज लुकिंग फॉर वन बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव. राइट, चाइना का सी, अगर ये मैप जो है आप देखोगे, दिस मैप सिंपली दैट इज द बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव ऑफ चाइना. इट इज सिंपली दैट रेल, रोड, मैरीटाइम कनेक्टिविटी वाला प्रोजेक्ट है. ठीक है, अब इसका अगर मैप देखोगे, देखो ये मैप यू विल फाइंड, डोंट यू फाइंड ये रिमलैंड को ही कनेक्ट कर रहा है, या इजंट इट? इट इज सिंपली ट्राइंग टू कनेक्ट द रिमलैंड रीजन. See, China is being a rimland country, it is looking for how to integrate the rimland region so that, and provide, no doubt that China would control the whole region then, and that is what, see, this Belt and Road Initiative of China is again following the application of rimland model. Okay, fine. Now what about then US? Now for the case of US, you will find, see, the same, the Nicholas Spikeman, America's Strategy in World Politics, over in his book he has as well written or suggested America कि अमेरिका ने क्या करना चाहिए, कि यूनिटी ब्रेक कैसे करनी है. ठीक है, नाउ यू विल फाइंड, अब बस इसी केस में यू कैन कनेक्ट विद द फर्दर पॉलिसीज ऑफ अमेरिका ओवर इन द रिमलैंड. देखो इराक वॉर हुआ, सद्दाम हुसैन 1990s एंड लेटर. ईरान में इंटरफेरेंस है, एज यू नो द राइवली दैट एग्जिस्ट बिटवीन ईरान एंड यूएस. राइट, अभी जो न्यूक्लियर डील हुई थी अभी वो भी चल रहा है. राइट, दैट्स वन. इक्वली यू विल फाइंड अफगानिस्तान वॉर, अफगानिस्तान रिमलैंड का ही पार्ट है. राइट, डिस्टेबलाइज किया है फिर से, है ना. Equally you will find India Pakistan जो wars हो रहा है, you know it well कि one of the factor that fueled India Pakistan rivalry is equally outside power, more appropriately China, then US, USSR as well. Then you will find Asia pivot policy, that is now contemporary dynamics of China is now trying to control the rimland, and now in order to counterbalance the China, to break the unity, again Asia pivot policy is there. तो Asia pivot policy में क्या, चाइना को हमको बैलेंस करना कैसे, जापान से, कोरिया से, फिलीपींस से, इंडिया से, राइट, और भी कोई मेजर पावर से, so that you will find China would remain balanced and say counter positions are in existence. This is what the US policy. देखो करंट अफेयर्स में कंटेम्प्रेरी इसके रिलेवेंस है. अब does India follow this kind of policy? Answer is yes, absolutely yes. See कैसे, किस किस वे से, क्योंकि आपको आंसर में लिखना भी पड़ेगा this way. So India's neighborhood policy, या इंडियाज नेबरहुड पॉलिसी, प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जब इन्होंने ये पॉलिसी डिस्क्लोज की थी, या नेबरहुड फर्स्ट पॉलिसी एज वेल, राइट, 1996 में जो हमारे जो फॉरेन पॉलिसी थी, या उसके बाद में नेबरहुड पॉलिसी, नेबरहुड फर्स्ट पॉलिसी एज वेल, दैट वन. एक्सटेंडेड नेबरहुड ऑफ इंडिया, सारा रीमलैंड से ही कनेक्टेड है, या दैट वन. Equally, you will find Project Mosam, that is a cultural, that it is Indian ministry's initiative, yeah, India's initiative to deal with the cultural integration of the rimland region as well, है ना, rimland and surrounding periphery Indian Ocean वाला region. Equally, you will find the Indian Ocean Rim Association. See, some part or major, this part is what the rimland in itself, बाकी कुछ अफ्रीकन और ऑस्ट्रेलियन पार्ट तो है ही है इसमें, बट ये भी इक्वली इंडियन ओशन रिम एसोसिएशन वाला पार्ट आ रहा है इसमें. देन यू विल फाइंड द रिसेंटली डिक्लेयर्ड द ट्रू रिमलैंड इंटीग्रेशन इनिशिएटिव, दैट इज इंडिया मिडल ईस्ट कॉरिडोर, यूरोप कॉरिडोर, राइट. अभी जो हमने डिक्लेयर किया है, देयर यू विल फाइंड, यहाँ पे हम क्या कर रहे हैं, रिमलैंड को कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं जस्ट विद द सेम एम. इक्वली जापान, राइट, जापान एशिया अफ्रीका ग्रोथ कॉरिडोर, जिसमें इंडिया भी इक्वली पार्ट है, एशिया अफ्रीका ग्रोथ कॉरिडोर, दैट इज ट्राइंग टू डील विद द connect the different parts of Asia and Africa, trying to counter the China's Belt and Road Initiative. See, ये corridor भी जो है, ये India active participants है इसका, so that is equally dealing with the integration of rimland. So I hope आपको ये सारे geopolitical realities है ना, and this explanation is now pretty much clear too. So see, application real time तो बहुत ज़्यादा है. However, there are equally criticisms of this theory as well, that see what you have explained कि rimland is potential region, but there are some limitations of the rimland region as well. You have neglected that case as well. Equally, the Western Europe and North America, you know, is now a newly developed political center, जिसको हार्टलैंड थ्योरी में मिडलैंड बेसिन बोला था Halford Mackinder ने, तो that part is equally neglected there, right. And equally it underestimated the role of world community, United Nations organizations and other organization. Role of technology ये भी एक neglect हो रहा है in the case of Spikeman, जहाँ पे role of technology जो modern aircrafts है या modern naval bases है, ये भी अब क्या हो रहा है, ये भी एक शायद कुछ हद तक neglect किया है over in the Spikeman's case. In today's global world, the globe is a village, and international law doesn't permit territorial expansion. That is not really possible now. That is not really possible. So that leads to, you know, conflict. It is a time of economic imperialism and not that of the political colonization. So Spikeman to that extent seem, you know, having that narrow aspect कि इसने थोड़ा सा political control पे बोला और territorial expansion पे focus किया. Rather, say this is not a time, right time actually, say for the political or the territorial expansion. Rather, now the world is looking for China. क्या कर रहा है? China is now economic control कर रहा है countries को. Same goes with the US as well. So they're not by any means looking for the exact physical control of the region. Yeah, colonization. So see, still this Spikeman rimland theory is more relevant in the contemporary time. You will find कि इसके बहुत सारे relevant applications, जो हमने इतने सारे applications देखे हैं, तो you can absolutely connect it with. And I hope this video has helped you to understand or to have a better clarity on this particular theory, right? ऐसी मैंने geopolitics के videos बना रखे हैं. You guys shall go through and have a better clarity on this. If you like this video, please like it, share it, and don't forget to comment as well. Subscribe to our channel. I wish you all the best, and thank you guys.